friends? How are you doing today? Welcome to MarkTalk. I am your host, Mark Levy, and thank you for joining us for a special evening episode, early evening if you're in the U.S. or in the East Coast episode, or wherever you are. How about that? It's an episode of MarkTalk. We have 3 countries represented, which I'm very excited about. That doesn't happen too often. But you know what? There's so many different ways you can help the show today. You can press like, you can subscribe. If you want to help the show in other ways, I got Ko-fi.com/MarkLevy85. All that helps the show, keeps the power going, keeps the lights running, all that stuff, keeps streaming. As the kids, I don't know. No one says that. But I'm really excited today. I got a game that I love that I played twice. And it is a game that it's fun because you have to figure out the bad people, and if you're a bad person, you gotta figure out how to not be obviously bad. I will bring in the people that we have today. I'm gonna start off with Santi, the creator of Dark Horse.
Hello,
how are you today?
Mark. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I got a couple people that are alums also in the back. We've got Reno. How are you?
Hey, good. Reno.
How are you guys?
I've got Hannah.
Hello.
Hi, Hannah.
Hi, Hannah.
Hi.
And the puppy.
You promised, yes.
Oh, that dog is the cutest thing ever.
It is playtime right now, so please excuse her being a little nuts.
But it's fine.
She loves Dark Horse too, so she's here for it.
We all love Dark
big
Horse.
Fan. Yeah. Awesome. We'll have Pup Horse one day.
I mean, her mommy's the winner, so you know.
That's
maybe it runs in the family.
You are the only winner currently on this call right now. I know when Pinoy joins, there'll be 2, but congratulations on that. That's not an easy thing to do.
Yep.
Yeah,
especially in Hannah's season.
Yes, it was definitely an uphill battle as the almost first boot.
And we got some people in the audience saying hi.
Hi. Oh my God, there's people watching.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's talk about some of the seasons. First off, Santi, how'd you come up with the idea of Dark Horse?
So obviously when Sequester ended, all these games started popping up, and I spent a lot of time in the weeks between Sequester ending and playing minis like I've been playing Among Us and Secret Hitler with all the same people that I'm sure you guys have played Among Us and Secret Hitler with. And I started thinking, the games are popping up. What if we just combine the 2 and make a mini that kind of forces you to figure out who the bad people are? So I started thinking about it, and I always liked the term Dark Horse because I when I watch Big Brother or Survivor or any of those competition reality shows, I always look for what is a player that's under the radar, that's making moves that nobody knows what they're doing, and then they end up winning, which is typically a Dark Horse. So I built the game around that, and then I just kind of threw it out there in November, hey, I'm going to host this mini. If anybody wants to join, let me know. And I got I think 12 or 13 people. No, I got 11 people, and then we did 4 cast changes. Do you remember that, Mark?
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, that was insane. I remember you're like, Mark, no matter what, do not drop out because I haven't come more places.
It was dropping people, adding people.
I gotta bring up a great comment because it is very important to support non-problematic games.
Exactly. And yes.
Dark Horse is a very, very fun, positive experience. Exactly. I mean, I've never had a bad experience.
It's a fun game, yeah. So I threw that out there, and then it went successfully, and I was like, okay, well, what can I do next? So I came up with the duos twist for season 2, which is when Prannoy joins us. Him and Laura won. Because they were both Dark Horses and they were working together behind the scenes, and they made it all the way to the Final 4, and then Laura won the Final 4 question.
So yeah, let's talk about what the actual format of the game is.
Okay.
I mean, I know the game, the basic format of the game. Obviously, well, actually, we have the person, the Prannoy to Laura. Prannoy.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Prannoy.
Hey. How's it going?
Good.
Good.
How are you?
Yep.
Doing well.
Yes.
We literally just brought you up a second ago.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. You and Laura won season 2. So you want to have
winner is here.
No, Hannah's here.
2 winners and a flop.
Not 2 days in a row, Prannoy.
Oh my God, I'm just disregarding all the winners. I'm just I don't know, like self-obsessed. But anyways,
And we
continuing
also,
on. I'll hop on.
coincidentally, we have 2 summit winners here too. So, you know.
Well, that's true too. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, me and Hannah.
Oh, yeah,
Three
3 summit winners. Never mind.
3 summit
3.
winners.
Never mind. Anyways, go ahead.
I forgot the question. You were asking about the basic premise, right?
Yeah, the basic premise of the game.
So at its core, Dark Horse is a social deduction game. And what I do is originally I would randomly pick the Dark Horse during the game. At the very beginning. And then we'll get to that, Mark. And then for season 2, I picked in advance so that way Prenoy and Laura could work together. And then season 3, I picked in advance as well. And I use random.org. I just put everybody's name in there, let random.org do it, and then it's just completely random. And to see what happens. So when the game starts, nobody has any information. And the goal is to get rid of the Dark Horses so that way they don't get to the end of the game, because if they do, they automatically win. So I've seen people like get voted out for sneezing incorrectly. I mean, that's kind of an exaggeration, but some random reasons of getting voted out in the first round.
I do love the idea someone sees it correctly. They'll be like, 2.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So that's
Right.
that's the basic core of the game is just kind of trying to figure out who the Dark Horses are before the end of the game and not letting them get to the final 2.
Yeah, it's really fun watching the game and playing the game. Like, especially like it's so much fun watching I'm so happy you started streaming it, because it's just so much fun watching people be like, no, I know you're fucking evil because you were evil last round. You voted against me, Hannah. I'm taking you out right now.
That's happened. That happened a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started streaming it in season 3.
Great, yeah.
Yeah.
I know my season, there were multiple rooms. Granted, my season was like the beta test season.
Yeah.
Which is why we had 2 Dark Horses because of stuff, but that's how it is.
It happens.
It happens.
Yeah. So for the audience to know, what happened is I've never hosted a Zoom game. I've never done anything of that sort. And I never shared my screen. I never had PowerPoint, anything of that sort. So I picked the first Dark Horse, which was Bethany. And in round 2, I accidentally shared my screen, which showed in 3 different locations that Bethany was the Dark Horse. So we had to restart the whole game, and I had to pick a new Dark Horse, which ended up being Mark.
Yeah, no, literally, one of the things, like some of them were like not as obvious. It was like Dark Horse, Bethany, but like one of them was like the Dark Horse is Bethany. Like it was like that obvious. It was basically like we had a joke with in the first piece chat, like that all it was missing was a flashing sign that says the Bethany is the Dark Horse. But yeah, so it's always random how you choose a Dark Horse.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which explains why Bethany was the Dark Horse again in season 5.
Yeah. Yep. So it was it was kind of perfect that it worked out that way. So
no,
because she was the first one and she never really got to do anything with that, and then she got to not really do anything in All Stars.
I mean, that's how it happens when people will break twists.
Yeah, All Stars was all about breaking twists, which was fun to see happen.
Honestly, if round 2 never happened, that game would have been just so different. But that's a whole different story, Holly.
Yeah.
I want to talk to Reno, Hannah, and Pinoy. Like, what made you excited to sign up for Dark Horse?
Well, for me, I am newer to like these Zoom games and the community. I never did Sequester, so I kind of went into everything blind. And so I saw on Twitter that Dark Horse was casting, and I saw that Santi was the host. I was like, oh my gosh, Santi's so nice. Like, this seems like it could be a cool game. So I submitted an application, had no idea what the premise was, got casted, and I showed it to the game. I'm like, okay, this is like a normal game. And then we went over the rules. I was like, oh, this is not a normal game. So I went into it not having any idea, but I'm so glad I signed up for it because it was such a good time.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I mean, same for me, because like at that time when I first applied in season 2, that was, back in November last year. And I think I was like applying for every game that was available.
You were in every game for like 2 months straight, Pinoy.
Correct. Yeah, there is hardly a game that I have not played and won. But anyways, so then Dark Horse happened, and then um, I was not really happy when I got to know that I am the Dark Horse, because it's not that I don't lie in games. Of course, I lie, but then just to keep up a poker face like for 4 hours straight up,
Yeah, it's tough.
that was difficult. And I mean, I would come back like when season 2 gets discussed, but then yeah, like I love social strategy games. I love game theories. So yeah, that's what led me to Dark Horse.
So what led me to Dark Horse was Santi and I had actually played the Monarch together, which he won, and I was first boot. He went against me. But no,
loyalty
after,
there.
Yeah, it's all good. So after that, like we messaged each other, and I said, congrats on the win, like you deserved it. And he was like, I hated going against you, but he's like, there's a game that I'm doing called Dark Horse, like, and you should really apply to it. Like, I think it would be a good game. And so he was explaining the premise of it to me, just the general thing. And as soon as he explained it, I'm like, wow, it's almost like that game Mafia as well. I don't know if any of you have played Mafia.
Yeah.
And I love that game. I love like murder mysteries and like whodunit type of things. And so once I found out the premise, I said, okay, I'll apply. And yeah, that's what made me interested in it.
It's funny that you mentioned Mafia, Reno, because Mafia was also a big factor in how I created the game, because I've spent, countless hours playing Mafia with a ton of my friends, screaming and yelling at each other, trying to figure out who's the Mafia.
Same here.
I have shirts. I was supposed to go on a cruise before the pandemic, and we were going to all go on a cruise together, and we were going to play Mafia every night. And so I had shirts made that said, I am Mafia. Or I am the Mafia, I'm sorry. And we were just going to hand them out to people that really mess with people's heads. And they're sitting in my closet right now because the cruise did not happen.
Well, I mean, it's like it's Brandy just brought who will be the Dark Horse next generation? And Katie responded, Santi. So.
I did think about that for All Stars. I told the cast for All Stars, I tried to figure out a way to get somebody else to host so I could play, but that didn't work out. And I ended up having a fun time as a host.
I got a question for you, Prino, because I'm really curious, because I've never been a Dark Horse in a team, and actually, Ashley just asked the same question pretty much. But what's it like to plan and play the game as a team? Because I know that you and Laura had different games in the game.
Yeah, I didn't know Laura at all before. Am I going?
No, you're good.
Okay, good. So I didn't know Laura at all before Dark Horse. So when the game started and Santi let us know that me and Laura, that I was a Dark Horse and there's another Dark Horse in the game. So I was anxious who the other Dark Horse is. But then in round 1, I think there was a twist where he told us that if we refuse to vote, then we can get to know who the other Dark Horse is. I mean, of course, the twist applied to me and Laura.
Oh, you didn't know Laura was the other Dark Horse?
No. And she didn't know either. So we had to refuse voting in round 1 in order to know who the other Dark Horse is. And you know how Santi does his voting? He calls out the name one by one. And fortunately, Laura's name came before me alphabetically, and something weird happened because when Laura's turn came, Santi took much more time than he did with other contestant, because he had to let her know that I'm the Dark Horse. And I don't know why others didn't catch up to it, because I completely figured out, okay, Laura is the Dark Horse. So that's why I didn't have to refuse from voting. I completely voted. I don't know who the first boot was. I think Mike was the first boot.
Yeah, it was Mike.
So yeah. So I didn't have to refuse from voting. I completely figured out that Laura was the Dark Horse, and she of course knew, because because Santi literally told her. And that was an unspoken bond. And I don't think that we even, because at that time the game was different, because there were breakout rooms and that is completely different. Like Dark Horse has evolved so much. We will talk about that later.
Yeah.
So I think probably in round 6 or 7, that is probably the first time when me and Laura met for the first time. So that's how we did. But then we never like DM'd. We never exchanged any message. It was just like unspoken thing. And when the game switched into a one room thing, then we knew. Like in some rounds I was like, being a dominant force, and in some rounds she was. So that's how we communicated.
The pair that dreams are made of, right?
It was a good team to watch, like, because they had, like Pranay said, they didn't know each other very well, and to see them on my side kind of gravitate towards each other, because they had to, but it also happened naturally within the game.
Yeah.
And me and Laura also had such a different journey in season 2. Laura was targeted heavily, and everyone suspected, like people like Brian, people like Dan, they were suspected to be a dark horse. So was Alejandro, and Laura was also speculated to be a dark horse, and she was on the verge of getting eliminated in various rounds, and I was completely had a different route. Like, no one suspected me to be a dark horse at all. I don't think that I even got any votes. So we both had very different journeys. So that was really great to, I think, even witness, and we made a great partnership.
That was kind of like what happened with me in season 1, though. Like, no one really assumed I was a dark horse because they did a really good job of being like, oh no, it's definitely Andre, it's definitely Bethany, it's definitely Tyler. And people were
Or Trevor.
Me. Yeah, Trevor. Well, I didn't push Trevor much. I actually didn't. It was everyone else. I was pushing. I pushed Andre a lot. And he's like, I'm not the dark horse because like someone saying logic. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. It's what the dark horse would say. And then like I got out like 7th place, but like, and no one had idea it was dark horse. So like at the end, like Bethany was just like, I don't know, Mark, when they're guessing, and she was the only person that guessed me. But yeah.
To answer Ashley's question as well, so in season 2 they found out in the game. Season 3, it was triple threat, so it was 3 dark horses. So what I did, like a week before the game, I contacted Brandy, Nolan, and Ganjo, and I said in a group text, I said, you guys are the 3 dark horses for the game. You're welcome to pregame before the game starts, and then just go from there. What I didn't tell them, though, is that when the game started, they had to work against each other because only one of them could get to the end. And then season 4 was everybody was in pairs, and I created a secret pair of Sean and no, not Sean, Stark and Davey. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I told them that they could communicate as well. And then season 5, All Stars, I individually messaged each dark horse and told them that they were the dark horse. I didn't tell them there was other dark horses in the game until the game actually started.
Yeah. It's so funny, like what Brandy just put in the chat though, because like it's so weird how the dark horse can actually out themselves as a dark horse in this game. Like it's all about body language. Because I remember when I was watching season 3, that Hannah was getting a lot of heat when I was like started watching that. Like we're like, Hannah's definitely a dark horse. She's too nice enough for the dark horse. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, I wrote some reasons down. Some funny reasons why people got eliminated. Like poor Shannon got eliminated because it looked like she wasn't typing in one round, so they thought she was a dark horse.
And her glasses.
Yeah,
that's what John A pointed out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we pointed out, I felt so bad after because I was talking about Lana. This was before the clues, where it looked like she was so close to the screen and her eyes were moving. And then she's like, no, I'm legally blind. Like, that's why my eyes are like that. And I'm like, oh. But then afterwards, she was cleared by the clues that were given anyways. So, but it's the most like, our season was fun, I feel like, because so much paranoia was going around in the early rounds, and the most innocuous things were being reasons as to why people were getting the suspicion on them.
That's what I love about the game, is that the paranoia level is so high, and everybody's looking for one reason to like get at somebody of being the dark horse. And I think I really increased the paranoia level with All Stars because I was sending out like the cryptic tweets, and you guys were like messaging me, and I was not answering you directly.
Yeah, I was pissed off like 2 minutes after like you posted that like the first clues tomorrow ever. And I was like, first clues tomorrow, like, yes, it is tomorrow. Like, what the fuck?
Like,
you want to talk about? Go ahead.
I jumped into the Zoom call first just to grab an advantage. Nothing happened on that regard.
That was what was funny about that, Pranoy, is that Aiden and I were like, maybe we should give like a secret advantage to whoever pops in first. And as soon as I said that, you popped in. So that's why we were laughing when you came into the Zoom call.
Oh, so you're planning to give something?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about how the game changed, Mark?
Yeah, that'd be really because the game became so different from when me and Pranoy first played to where it's now.
Yeah. So when I first started the game, it was on Zoom, and I had breakout rooms. I didn't have production. I really don't have a production team. I didn't have anybody helping me. And it was fun. And then between that time and season 2 is when the horrible incident happened on Double Twist, where they got Zoom bombed. And so I tried to figure out a way to set parameters up so that wouldn't happen to us, and it ended up happening to us as well. And so when I sat for season 3, I'm like, okay, like I want to stream this game. I want other people to see it, and I don't want the Zoom bombing to happen anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And this was like shortly after I had played Summit. So it was between Summit and season 3, where in Summit, like you have breakout rooms, but then you have a huge amount of time in the main room where you get to deliberate and argue your case and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, I can do that, but I need the cast to go away for a little bit and kind of strategize or get information or just be away from the main game. So that's how I created the discard pile. And from there, it just kind of started evolving, and I started pulling the chess pieces in, and the game now centers around a lot of chess metaphors. And I've learned a lot about chess the last couple of months because I've built Twist around moves in chess. And so that's how I evolved the game. So Hannah and Reno were the beta testers for the discard pile. And I remember Hannah popped in to the first discard pile, and she's like, Santi, I just want to tell you, like, the production value and the amount of work that you put into this is amazing, because it had the spinning roulette wheel in there. And that was I was really happy about that. So I just kept building on it, and like I have the tiles that flip over whenever you have to pick numbers.
Yeah, your games have very good production values. Like that's one of the things I always love about. Like the videos are cool. Like it feels like you're playing in an escape room, kind of.
Oh, that's a good. Yeah, I never heard of that, but yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I thought it was so well done. Like that was one thing that stood out to me instantly. Was like, wow, this is aesthetically pleasing. Like the way you explain the rules, like very high production value. So the fact that it's just you, like, kudos to you for that.
It's just literally me and PowerPoint. And I got Aiden. Like I want to give a shout out to Aiden. He volunteered to help me with All Stars, and he was a great asset to run the discard pile while I just kind of listened into the main room, and listened to all the things happening in there. Which was funny.
There was an incident in our season that kind of happened where they could actually hear you talking to us.
Yes, So each season of Dark Horse, there has been one incident where I have made a mistake. The first season was Bethany. Season 2, what did I do? I can't remember. There was something that happened in season 2.
I figured out that Laura was
the Pranoy and Laura incident. Yes.
You took so much time there.
And then season 3, I left my mic on and I was talking to the discard pile, and the main room could hear me. So they started shouting to get my attention, and that didn't work.
To keep the integrity, though, of the game. Like,
so then they continued to shout.
It happened in All Stars as well, because like Santi was
the script in All Stars is round 2, I'm assuming.
There was a lot of yelling in All Stars, but it wasn't really. I mean, some of it was at me because you guys were just like, "Why are you doing this to us?" Season 4, I don't think anything crazy happened. In season 4, where I made a mistake.
Dark Horse go out immediately in season 4. So.
Yeah, poor Stark. Oh, we could talk about that. We could talk about the first boot.
Yeah, I actually love that. It's one of my favorite things about your game.
So when Mike played season 2, he was still kind of newer to the community. He'd only played a couple minis.
Yes.
Thank you. So yeah, when Mike played, he was still new and he got booted first, and he messaged me afterwards and he's like, like I really wanted to play and I feel really bad. And so as I was building season 3 with the Discord pile and all that stuff, I was like, how can I make it more welcoming to newer people in the community?
Mhm.
So then I created the policy of, if you're booted first, you come back for the next season and you have first round immunity. So Mike came back for season 3. He made it all the way to the final 4. And then Jonathan got booted first and he came back for season 4 and he made it second in jury. And then Stark came back from season 4 to 5, and he made it all the way to 7th. So every person that was booted first came back and has had an arc where they've made it to jury. So
That's super cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Gabby will be coming back at a later point, since she was booted first, which was just tragic in All Stars.
I doubt Gabby will come back.
Oh no.
Because Gabby's great.
Gabby's great.
I've adored Gabby since I first saw Gabby on my computer.
Yeah.
I'm like, you seem cool. I want to be your friend. Well,
So
Oh, you
Go ahead.
first.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was curious. Like, what are all y'all's favorites, like twists in Dark Horse? Because it's a very twist-heavy game. For me, I'm going to state. I think it's called the Queen's Gambit twist, where the main room and the discard room have to vote the same way, or else the person that's the queen dies and goes away. I think it's a pretty fucking cool twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brandy, because that twist screwed her over and I felt bad about it. So I tried to reword it for the next season and it screwed over Chrissy. And so I reworded it again and I sent it to several people and I'm like, does this make sense? And they said yes. And the twist effectively worked in All Stars. I think also because you guys were on to who the Dark Horses were.
Oh, we narrowed it down to 6 people while I was still in the game.
Yeah. So, what about you, Rena?
Yeah, that was a different thing.
I liked the Queen's Gambit twist as well, mainly because like we got it right in this. The people in the main room got it right. I don't know, like, so I wasn't actually aware that you used the same twist like game by game by game, because then I figure it would make it easy for people to figure it out. I like the twist where I got voted out, which was pick someone who you want to make the next move, and whatever happens to the final 3 that are left. And in my season, we had already had it figured out who the Dark Horses potentially were. It was basically 4 to 3. There were 3 people that it could be based on the clues, which were Aiden, Hannah, and Johnny, and then 4 people that we knew were cleared, which were myself, Mike, Anna, and Matthew Netting. And we start off with Anna to say, pick who you want to make the next move. And we don't know what was going to happen after. We just knew 3 people were going to be left at the end without a move. So we keep all 4 of ourselves as the next move. And lo and behold, we give power. The 3 people that are left at the end are the ones who can vote. And it's the 3 Dark Horses that we want to get rid of. And we basically just gave them the power that round. And who was on the receiving end of it? Me. I got voted out.
It's funny that you mentioned it, because that is also my favorite round, but then that screwed me and my partner Laura, because like Santi asked us to do our homework by watching season 4. And in season 4 also, like, he let the last 3 remaining players be the only people who could vote. So in All Stars, when that twist happened, probably it was like when 7 people were remaining. So Jonathan was debating who he should like give the, who he should give the next move to. And I said, don't give it to me, because I knew that I just wanted to be among the last 3 people remaining so that I could vote off Jonathan. And I don't even know that whether Jonathan remembered what happened in his season, because I don't think he made it that far.
It was
So Yeah. So I made sure that I'm one of the last three players, and I was so happy with it because Laura was with me at the bottom three, and
That's the
Jamie was
majority.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So me and Laura just completely can decide to take someone out. We could take out like someone like Jonathan, like or maybe like Logan or Connor or anybody. And that completely backfired on me because like I volunteered to be the final three, and then Sati told that the final three would be the only people who could get voted off, and we don't have a vote. And then, and since me and Laura were the only winners left, so like then we tied. Like I got two votes and Laura got two votes, and then Trevor who had some vendetta against Laura because Laura was
Laura took him out of the Queen's Gambit round. So.
Yes. And so Laura got eliminated in that round. So although that was my favorite round, but then it screwed my partner and eventually me, like at top five, because like having Laura would have helped me in the game.
I want to come back to the round one, your move, Prannoy, after Hannah says hers, because I love that happening.
I think for me, my favorite twist, I really did like the Queen's Gambit. I had a different experience than Reno because I was in the discard pile with Gonjo and Brandy when Brandy was trying to figure out, like, oh my gosh, who do I pick? And it was a little bit confusing, and I could kind of tell that Brandy was a bit confused, but in my mind,
It was
I was
Lana.
like,
It was Lana and you, right? Or was it Gonjo and you? I think it was Lana and you. Yeah.
Oh, it was me and Lana. Me, Brandy, and Gonjo were in the discard pile
at the beginning.
so many times. Yeah. And so it was interesting to try to be with Brandy as she was trying to figure it out. And I was just crossing my fingers. I was like, I really think Brandy is the dark horse. So like, I hope she guesses wrong, and that happened. My other favorite twist, we got to play night moves. So it was so cool on the Zoom call. Santi had like a PowerPoint screen with the chessboard, and we all got to like go in and draw like our moves. So for all you Big Brother super fans watching, like myself, having the opportunity to like go through and like make your moves and try to box people in and try not to get out yourself, because like you basically move like a knight on the chessboard, and if you run out of spaces, you're out. And I think we were all just really eager to play and did not read through the rules, because the rules were, if you are the first person who can't go anywhere, you are out. I assumed, oh, you're out of the competition and you go up for nomination. No, you're out of the game. So I was trying to focus so much on not being the first one out, because that would have been so embarrassing. But that ended up being an elimination. So that was really interesting. That was a fun one to play.
Yeah, poor Matthew Netting got screwed in that one.
Yeah, and because I think no one was purposely trying to target anyone. I think we were all just trying to survive, and Matthew ended up being the first one who couldn't make the move, and that was really unfortunate, but it was a fun one to play.
Yeah. So I was going to talk about All Stars. So I gave them homework to watch season 4, and specifically the year move round. Yeah. And that was the first round twist. Is like Stark picked somebody to make a move, and so on and so forth. I was very shocked that nobody in the main room figured out that the discard pile was going to be the ones voting. And I love the video of Prannoy, Alejandro, Anna, Laura, and Brian's reactions when they figured out that they were voting somebody out of the main room out.
That was probably the happiest moment in All Stars. I mean, for the 5 of us, because like all 5 of us were feeling that we will be the first vote, especially me and Laura, because we came back as winners, and then that screen message pops up that we will be the only people who would cast a vote. So I think
I'm just going to get my charger. 1 sec.
Yeah.
Which is funny because y'all weren't half as fucked as myself or Gabby in All Stars.
Oh, we could talk about that. Sorry. So I introduced in season 3, the Dark Horse powers, and Brandy broke that twist because round 1, we had a discard pile. Then Brandy used her power. Then we had a discard pile again. Round 1 it lasted an hour before anybody was eliminated because we kept having to deliberate. And so in season 4, I was like, okay, you can't use your powers until after the first round. Well, that ended up screwing Stark because had Stark been able to use this power, he would have been saved in the first round. And then I only put one Dark Horse power in for season 5, and I was hoping they would fight it out. And Giovanni was the one who ended up using it, and it screwed Mike over, unfortunately.
And also allocated every Dark Horse plus one other person as possible.
Yeah.
Dark Horse. Because in new rules it said Dark Horses can only choose safety. And I think everyone read it as, okay, I'm going to just prove I'm good by choosing vote instead of safety. And
except for Brian.
Except for Brian.
Poor Brian.
Everyone but Brian.
Yeah. I was like, Brian, this is not the right time.
I've never seen a more merciless pre-jury phase of the game where people were just like, "You're evil. I'm taking you out." Like the whole that was so hard. Because I was the only person people knew was good that went out in pre-jury. I think, right?
Yes.
You and Gabby.
Yeah, you and Gabby.
Well, Gabby, no one knew was good. It wasn't proven that Gabby was good.
Yeah.
It was proven that I was.
True that.
Well, I'm not saying Gabby was. Yeah, you know what I mean. Gabby got more than me, but yeah.
Yeah, you were like our sacrificial lamb, the only sacrificial lamb in pre-jury.
Damn it, Giovanni, you evil bastard.
Which is funny that I got when Brian explained his strategy behind picking safety. He was like, I figured I could pick safety. There's 5 Dark Horses. I could be a 6 vote for them, and we could create a voting block, and kind of all 6 of us vote together. But
he told me
he didn't
after the game.
Yeah,
he didn't think. I don't think he anticipated that no one else would pick safety because that didn't make any sense for.
I almost picked safety. Came very close to picking safety. So,
yeah.
I will say, with this game, Santi, what's really good the way that you've created it is if you do make it to the end of this game and you win, it really takes a lot of strategy to do that because there's so much, because the gist of most of these social strategy games, aside from this one, is you always want to get to the end and you win. And everybody kind of has a similar approach. It's okay, I'm going to make alliances with people. Mm-hmm. I'm going to throw names out round by round. But in a game like this, you can't really do that. There's a level of strategy that you have to decipher the twists and the clues that are being read to you each round because you're deliberately cryptic with how you explain them. And then once you get past that layer of strategy, you have to have your own strategy in terms of, okay, if I am the Dark Horse, how do I get the target on somebody else and not me? And then if I'm not the Dark Horse, how do I make sure that the suspicion is kept off of me and I'm not being falsely accused? And then on top of that, you have a third layer of strategy because if you're not the Dark Horse, you have to you have that extra burden of the jury management saying I need to make sure that I'm playing a strong enough game that people can see that I'm making moves so that they vote for me to win. Whereas if you are the Dark Horse, you don't have that burden. All you really have to worry about is getting to the end of the game. So this is so cool of a game that you've played because there's so many layers of strategic thinking that are involved to get yourself to the end and win.
And that's one of the things I like about the games is strategy. I love playing strategy. I love when I am in a mini and I get one-on-one time with one person and we can scheme for 5 or just a couple minutes. That's my favorite part of minis. Yes, Pranay.
No, another thing which I really like about this game, and I mean it also screws a lot of people about this game, is that you really can't work with your friends from the community because your friend can be a Dark Horse, like in All Stars, people like Lana, Alejandro, they are so great socially and they always make it to the Final 4, Final 5 whenever they play. But then in this game, even if you're a friend of Lana, they will vote you out because you are not helping their cause to win the game because when you are reaching the end and you already have 3 jury votes in your bag, no one would take you, even if you are someone's greatest ally. So that is I think really good for someone who is afraid that they don't have any friends in the community and they are afraid. I think Dark Horse, this game actually is beneficial for them because like it is not you're not playing with your friends, you're actively searching for the Dark Horse and then taking them out. So that is one of the cool things about this game, which I like.
And I love about. Go ahead, Anna.
I completely agree. And that's why I recommend Dark Horse to newer players because, like Pranoy said, you don't come into this game with an idea of, okay, these are the people I want to work with, because you can't really work with people. You can't truly trust anyone. And back to Reno's point about the strategy of winning as a dark horse versus not a dark horse. If you're not a dark horse, I think there's also subcategories there because there's the person that was proven not to be dark horse round 2 or 3 and kind of got to sail to the end, but then how do you make moves when you're not trying to disprove yourself? And then there's the person who had suspicion on them the entire time and they had to try to disprove that they were the dark horse. So there's so many layers of strategy and you can't trust anyone. So such a cool, fun, interesting game. But I highly recommend to anyone who might be nervous to play these games.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I forgot what I was going to say now.
We kept interrupting. I'm sorry.
I did write down some funny moments that we could talk about, Mark. So my favorite moment from season 1 was we were at Final 6, and everybody knows Bethany and how Bethany likes to just stir the pot and cause chaos. So her and Connor were working together, and Bethany was like, I'm going to just throw my vote on Connor. And I forgot who else threw their vote on Connor, so Connor ended up leaving. And so Bethany couldn't hold her laughter in, and it was very apparent that she had done that to Connor.
Which also added more suspicion that she was the dark horse again.
Marcelo, don't leave yet. I'm going to mention you in a second, Marcelo. And so they were going back and forth for a couple of minutes, and then Connor ended up dragging Bethany out of the game with her, which is the only time that I use the term drag and dark horse. It's double eliminate. Season 2, the best moment I think was when we had the round, which I call it the smothered mate round now, but Jamie and others call it giving somebody the gun. And so Jamie had the gun, and she got rid of Marcelo, and Marcelo's reaction was calling everybody snakes and liars. And it was just hilarious. And I don't think he knew that it was Jamie until jury started. And then I talked about this earlier, and with Brandy using the power in the first round and it lasted an hour, and then the alphabet clues that screwed over half the cast, because I was like, the dark horses have A's in their name, so everybody who had an A in their name was suspect. And then I had they have more than 5. Yeah, they have more than 5 letters in their name, so everybody with more than 5 letters were suspect, which was like 90% of the cast. But it was just funny to watch everyone, like, he said A's, he didn't say A, like, you know what I mean?
Is it first name? Is it last name? What's everybody's last name? The paranoia.
Like, it would screw Santi. It would screw Santi and myself. I would screw Hannah and Pranoy. We're definitely a dark horse in this phone call.
Well, they would probably be like, "Is it Santiago? Are you counting that name? Or are we counting his nickname? Like, what are we doing?" And then season 4, the moment that stands out to me the most is, I hope Stark watches this later, is whenever he got eliminated and he came back with the 4 horseman power, and he told Jonathan that he done fucked up, that he could go sit in the discard pile. And then, I mean, All Stars was just, it was a calamity of errors the entire game.
So many.
I mean, for me, I hate to say this is a highlight, but for me, like while watching, because I watched 90% of the game, I think the Chelsea elimination, which it sucked, was the funniest thing ever.
So, Hannah, did you guys watch it? What happened in that round?
I didn't see that round.
So I do keep a lot of rounds the same, and I move other twists around to kind of mix things up. But one of the things that I keep the same is the round 4 twist, where you have to guess of how many votes the dark horse has got throughout the game. So in All Stars, what I did is I asked everybody how confident they felt about making it to the Final 4. And if they felt confident enough, they could guess their Final 4 answer now, and they would get safety for that round. So everybody guessed except for 2 people who were safe and Chelsea. And so because of the way things worked out, Chelsea surrendered herself out of the game.
Oh,
as the first member of the jury.
oh no.
Any vote against her, and she completely like got out without any votes. So that was a great moment. But I think for me, the most iconic moment, and I have to set this up, like one of the things that I've learned while playing all these games for all these months is like you should know when to shut up.
Yes.
And I think like Santi knows where I'm going with this. Because,
Oh
like,
yes.
because like
Yeah.
Lana just got eliminated, and Lana had to drag someone out of the game. So then Lana like comes up and asks who has voted against her. So I completely raised my hand because like I knew that I had a very great chance of getting dragged because like I have voted Lana out in many games. So and Lana appreciated the gameplay. Lana said that I'm safe, and then she also said that Jamie is safe, and then she had to pick someone between Trevor, Chelsea, Logan, and
Jonathan.
Giovanni.
Yeah.
Giovanni and Jonathan. Giovanni and Jonathan. I mean, Jonathan lied his way out. Jonathan said that he voted against Alejandro, which he did not. But anyways, so then Lana just randomly picks Trevor to get dragged, and then Trevor is like, "Oh, I'm sad and everything. I didn't vote for you and everything," which he really did not. He voted against Laura, and then Mr. Giovanni, the big mouth that he is, he says, "Santi, can we wrap this up?" And Lana completely changes her mind. Giovanni, you are coming with me now because I know that you would. That was like epic, and Giovanni's face just like said it all. Like our jaws dropped. That was like the iconic moment from season 5.
That was hilarious. Because I literally was about to say, "Is that your final answer?" And Giovanni cut me off, and so then Lana changed her mind.
Like you actually hear your
was
voice, like
amazing.
you hear like audio come out of your mouth. Santi.
Yeah.
Like in the watch back, you're like you actually hear a little bit, and Giovanni's like, "Can we wrap this up?"
I also loved Gabby's reaction to her getting voted out because like Gabby did not see it coming to be the first vote, and Santi spotlights her, and Gabby's reaction goes from like shocked to like she just burst out in laughter and says, "I knew I would be the first boot." So that was hilarious. Like we all
It was
love
very
Gabby.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some. I need to go back and watch it because I edited it. By the way, if you want to watch, I'll drop the YouTube link after the show. I edited it to have the Discord pile in there because you can't watch that while you're streaming it. So I added that section in to watch. There's also some funny moments in there too. There's a moment where Jamie's like screaming because I put up word scramble clues, and so Jamie's screaming that she can't find her pin anywhere. And
that was awesome.
Yeah.
Jamie's amazing.
When does Jamie does not scream? That is the
That's
question.
Me particularly.
Correct.
That was the whole jury phase every season of the adventure game. So
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little about season 6?
Yeah, so we can talk about season 6. I was hoping to have a video, but Henry didn't have it ready for me, and we're gonna have a talk after this. No, I'm just kidding. He's been sick, so it's fine. So season 6 is going to be obviously. I always like to play with the numbers. Like if it's season 2 is duos, season 3 was 3. So season 6 is 666, which is 666. So there will be 3 teams of 6, and each team will have a coach from a previous season. So they'll have a dark horse, a second place finisher, and a first boot, which you guys can guess who the first boot's going to be. And the dark horse's coach will know who they are. The coach's goal is to get the dark horse to jury, and then it's a free for all. So I'm not going to do clues this season because with 3 people knowing like individually who the dark horses are, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And then because the coaches can't directly target their dark horse, they can't say like Reno's the dark horse. They have to figure it out. So that's
like I don't think Reno's bad. I think Santi's a dark horse. That's
yeah. And then I'm gonna keep the marked one's powers because I liked that twist in the game where people randomly got stuff if they got eliminated, and they
Can I
got
tell
to
you
like,
how confused I was literally when you were messaging me? I was searching for my head. So for those that didn't watch the game, I broke my headphones. I got eliminated. I was sad. I'll admit that in a heartbeat. And then next thing, like I rip it out of my head and like it just rips off like half my headphones. I'm like, fuck. And somebody's like, I need your mark. You're not marked someone. I'm like, I'm pissed off. I'm mad. And I'm like, where the fuck's my headphones?
Oh my god,
Like,
Mark was so upset when he got voted off, and Bethany, the sneaky devil that she is, she's like, Mark is voted out because he's a dark horse. I was like, shut up, Bethany. This is not the right time for a joke right now.
yeah. So in All Stars, I introduced the twist, the 4 horsemen in season 4, and then I kept it and renamed it to the marked ones. And I did it at different points in the game, so nobody knew who was actually marked. Because I forgot this moment in season 4 when Davey and Billy were both marked. They lied about what their powers were.
So
Like they made
Billy
they made them up so crazy, and then in the final 6, I think they were like arguing with each other about whose lie was more justifiable than the other. So because that worked out so well, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna make this a staple as well, where people will randomly get something when they get eliminated, if they get eliminated in the game, to kind of cause havoc to the other players in the game. So I'm gonna keep that in.
When I marked Anna, I thought I was putting her in the discard pile because I was so fucking mad at like the whole situation. Like I was like, oh, what the fuck are you talking about? I'll get back to you in a moment. And then like I was like Anna, and I'm like, oh fuck this, fuck her Bethany. Oh well.
Yeah. And it worked out. I still wonder what would have happened if Stark gave Lana the double elimination mark, because she would have taken 2 people with her in that round where she got eliminated.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That would have been insane to start with.
So season 6 will be March 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to drop applications after this. Please sign up. I've already reached out to the coaches, and I'm welcoming back players who have played 2 seasons or less. So if you played 2 seasons or less, you're welcome to apply as well.
So March 28th at 7?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
But Santi, you should do an all dark horse season.
I have a plan. I have.
No, I have, like, there's been talks about that in one of the
Yes.
I have seasons.
We have enough dark horses now.
Yeah. I have seasons 7, 8 planned. I don't know if I'm for 9, but 10 will definitely be all returnees in some fashion with all dark horses. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Season 9 is the one that Mark wins.
That's what it's called. It's called Mark Wins.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Vote yourself out, and then Mark comes in that final 2, and it's like,
Yeah.
This is what I did in this game, and you have to vote for me. I did nothing. I win.
Also, shout out to Mark for doing so well in Banishment last night.
Yes,
That was
Mark
great.
is amazing.
It's so good. So good.
I want to shout out Pernod for being an amazing host last night on Banishment. So fucking funny. You slayed it, and Danny's probably still sore.
I was on commentary for 2 seconds last night as well. They invited me on. I came on and then I left. Yeah,
I really saw your commentary. Was that final? Was it going to final 6 when you were there? Or
yes.
No? Yeah, because I remember I was like, "Oh, Santi's there," and then I didn't see you anymore.
Yeah, and then I was gone, which was funny because I walked away from my computer and I didn't realize I was backstage the whole time. So I'm like, "Oh crap! Like I'm backstage and you can't get rid of me." So
anything else dark horse related before I ask one more question for all of y'all?
No, I'm good. I think I've covered everything I wanted to talk about.
All right, I always have to ask this type of question. I've guessed on it for this type of series. What's like a mini like day long game that you like that or haven't played yet that you want to like shout out?
Oh, like our favorite?
Yeah.
Oh God,
And this isn't me being like say a bunch of games. That's not what this is.
Can I pick more than one?
Yeah, sure. Shout out.
Okay, I'll go last.
Like which one is the favorite that I have played, or which?
Like what's one that you like a lot that you play or want to play, or?
Like I don't think there is a game left for me to play.
Okay, well, what was the game that you like to play then, Pranay?
Oh my God, I don't want to like make people upset, especially the games that I won already. But then I just also like want to give a shout out to this game in particular because like because the host decided to like have a permanent hiatus on this game. I'm talking about Summit because like
Yeah.
that is such a great game, and
Someone's
I
incredible.
played twice. Yeah, and we have like so many players who played Summit in this panel as well. So that was such a great
That's how I
game.
met
And
Hannah.
yes, and Andrew and Cody did such a great job. And also something Andrew did, which was so amazing. I think he played in his own game. He played in season 9, which was the final season, and I think that's so cool. That's so commendable, and I encourage all the hosts to play their own game. So if I had to give a shout out to one particular game, it would be that, because I would love for Summit to come back again. You know, we all love Andrew, we all love Cody.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to them too because they reached out to me and asked, "Hey, can you help out with production on season 9 because Andrew's playing?" And I was like, "There's been about like 100 people that played this game, and they asked me." So I was like really honored to do it. And then I was nervous the entire time, like I didn't want to mess anything up. I wanted to make sure everybody got the correct artifact message. It was more pressure for me that time in prod than actually hosting the game. So just want to give them a shout out because I love that game so much.
It's a great game.
What about you, Hannah?
I mean, I'll shout out games I've played. I truly have enjoyed playing Dark Horse. Like obviously this whole Dark Horse, but I would recommend this for anyone. But I thought Summit was incredible. I think it was a really positive experience. I got to play twice, and a cool thing about that game was that even if you are voted out, you still get to be a part of the game and strategize, and you have a chance to win. So I think Summit was great because it gave everyone a chance. Another game that I always recommend to newer players, and this is not just like sucking up to you, Mark, but the adventure game, honestly, was probably one of the most positive experiences I've had in a game. I think Mark does a great job of putting together a great positive cast. The game itself is really fun. There's a lot of opportunities just to get to know people and have conversations in breakout rooms. It's not just like, okay, start playing the game. Like you actually get to socialize a bit. So I thoroughly recommend the adventure game. But yeah, those are a few of my favorites.
The storytelling aspect of adventure, which completely separates it from all the different Zoom games. So I love adventure.
Yeah, and there's a bit of like randomness too, because depending on like it's a choose your own adventure game, right? So like the decision that you make, like it's completely random. So I think it gives a lot of people a chance there too.
Yeah, it's about fun. What about you, Rena?
There's been a lot of great games. Dark Horse is definitely up there, but I want to give a shout out to Haunted House Party.
Yeah,
a little bit biased because I did win that. Thanks to Pranoy.
No, absolutely not. You deserved it.
Haunted House Party. Andrew and Jason are like some of the best guys here, and I mean they've run such a good game. I highly recommend that game to anyone. You get 2 chances, so like you don't have to worry about you're voted out first. You're not necessarily out of the game. So you're a zombie, and then you kind of get another chance. So I hope you'll have them on here to talk about it.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this series might not last that much longer, but there's like I want to get like the Monarch on because I fucking love Ganja. That game is so fun. But yeah.
So Haunted House Party and Injury. I loved Injury. Again, biased.
Injury's great.
And in terms of a game I haven't played, I really actually like the adventure game, and I hope I'll get a chance to play that eventually. But yeah, that's a game I'm looking forward to applying to.
Yeah, we'll be having applications open maybe soon for another season. Because my schedule is
trivia-based game. No, like I was talking about Greatest Mind. If someone doesn't want to deal with voting people off, they can do Greatest Mind, and they are doing an all-women season next week, I believe. So that is also something that you can try your hands in.
Or Amnesty as well is another good.
Amnesty is great.
Trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think like Prannoy, I've played all the games. I've played High Rise. I played Injury. I played Summit. I won Summit. I played Monarch. I won Monarch. I played the adventure game. I won the adventure game. I've played Banishment a couple times. I've played Equilibrium. I played High Rise. So I've played a handful of these games, like all of us have. But my favorite, and of all of them, is Castaway. Like the way Rob,
I do want to play that.
Game,
yeah,
it is Hannah. You've got to play. Like the way he does it, he makes you feel like you're playing Survivor, except you're not starved and it's not 39 days and you don't win $1 million.
Love that.
I literally told him that on Monday when he was on this. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably my favorite game. I don't know if I ever get the chance to play it again because I played All Stars and I don't know if Rob will ever have like a third chance game, but given the chance, I would play that game again because I love it so much. It's where Prannoy and I actually got to meet and work together, and that's where our friendship started. So that's why that game also has a special
I was also that
heart.
season as well.
Yeah, we never got to work together though, Mark, because
well, we
never got to work together.
We were always on the
Remember,
side.
yeah.
Because I got
That's long. For us to work together.
It's all good.
Yeah. But shout out to Equilibrium as well, and Injury.
Injury. Yeah. Also, Ryan Ferguson's game Triovia. If that is also a trivia plus strategy game, and I help out with the production, so you can try your hands on that as well. Rolling, Robin's game.
Yeah.
So there's so many.
Please like my tweet for Rolling, so I can get booted second. Yes. Well, Rolling was funny, like, because Robin and I joked about when she casted me. I told them, I was like, I'm going to get booted second, and this is what's going to happen. And they were like, no. And then I got booted second. So it was quite hilarious.
Prophecy.
Yep.
I went out like 4th or 5th with Matt Dela Cruz. When I played, it was a double elimination, and I think I technically went out 4th because I think he got 1 vote to save. I got 0 votes to save. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Yeah. So I guess before we head out, I just want to say support all minis that are positive experiences and that listen to women and people that have been sexually harassed. Do not silence them. Do not remove them from your games or your groups. It is very unfortunate what's going on the last couple of days, and I hope that we as a community can continue to come together as we have over the last 5 months and really create a positive experience, because we're all in this pandemic together, and it should be a fun experience with us playing these games because we have nothing else to do. So thank you so much for having me, Mark.
Thank you. I'm going to put some of y'all Twitters up. Follow Santi at Velvet Sage on Twitter. As you saw, as your Dark Horse Season 6 is March 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can follow Hannah at Hannah Torrance on Twitter. Prannoy at Gypsy Prannoy on Twitter. Reno at Reno B on Twitter. Other things are coming up on this channel. Friday is our next show, so of course I'm going to invite you all to be on my Brant Steel. And if you guys like to, let me know right now, unless I have an issue. All right, you guys are all in my Brant Steel this week.
I've never seen it.
Oh,
I know you do it.
It's fun. You should watch it.
Yeah, so what I do is I run a Survivor season. I think we're doing Thailand because Rob wanted a bad season. So we're probably going to do Thailand because I hate Thailand. Holistically, I hate Thailand. Like on a very cellular level, I hate Thailand. Like I can find things like that Island of the Idols, but I hate Thailand. But it doesn't matter. But yeah, it basically I just run a Brant Steel here and it's fun and all that good stuff.
I won one once.
You did. Might win a second. I don't know.
I need to when I have a Friday
I'm
off.
here for it.
We just got our second 2-time winner with Molly Gallant, so that was pretty exciting. Oh yeah, also another great game that needed to be shout out: Double Twists.
Which applications did they close last night? Or
I think they closed so, tonight. But I'm not sure. But Double Twist is amazing. Renzo and his team are incredible. They were on here
Pyramids game
like a month or so ago. Yeah. Also, so coming up again on Monday at 4 p.m. I've got Word on this. I should have fixed up. I did not. Word on the Strat or Word on the Street with Trevor and Max are going to be on here. Very excited. We got our newest episode, Mark Meets World, Scott Friedstein. On Tuesday, I've got Mary Kwiatkowski. We're going to be talking about the episode of Boy Meets World with the Beach Boys. It's going to be very fun and exciting.
So cool.
I'm so excited about that. You can tweet at me at MarkLevy85. And it was briefly mentioned, I should plug my own thing. So season 4 of the adventure game Trouble on Space Station 47 is starting on Sunday, February 28th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're watching on my YouTube, you can watch that on my YouTube. And there's a very unique twist this season that I think I told something.
Yeah, you told me about it.
Yeah, because it's a doozy. But I'm excited about it. So and thank you guys for all being here. That means a lot to me to be able to spend an hour with you. Because
thank you so much for having us, Mark.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
You guys are amazing. I'm so happy. And I'll see you guys on Friday. Bye.